morning, y'all. We're back at the shop and we finally got the Toyota up on the lift. Let me show you what I got for this thing. I've been wanting one of these for years. Not the fan, which that is a good little fan, but I'm talking about this. I finally got me an ARB air locker, which I already have the twin air compressor. I actually have mounted in the bed on the little tracks. So what I'm going to do today is get the locker installed, and then I'm going to move the air compressor to under the hood so I'll be able to feed my lines and have both my switches up there in the dash. I'm going to get started tearing, get the tires off, CV axles, brakes, brake rotors, all that stuff off, and then we'll start taking out the front differential. So I'll see you here in a second. As you can see, I got the tires off. Done took off the outer tie rod. I've got spider tracks, 1¼ wheel spacers also, so I done undone those, done undone my rotors on both sides. There we go. So now, next step to do, I have these uniballs from Icon. So instead of having to break the ball joint and stuff loose, I can simply take this bolt out right here and the ball joint will separate. So then I don't have to fight with getting it out of there. And I'm going to undo this so my knuckle here will lean outwards. Then I take his cap off, undo the CV axle bolt or nut, and then be able to pull the CV axle out of the knuckle. And then I've got one of the CV axle forks you stick in here on both sides and prise your CV axle out. So let me get that done and then we'll move on to the next step. Now we got the CV axles out of the knuckle. You can tell I got the A-arm undone on both sides. A-arm, the knuckles undone from the top A-arm. Alright, next thing to do is get your CV axles out of your front diff. So let's get that done, and I'm going to go ahead and undo the drive shaft as well. Alright, now we got the front diff out, and then we got to break it apart right here and put the locker in it. Okay, we've got the front differential separated. We've got the carrier and ring gear out. So now I'm going to unbolt this ring gear because my new locker, in other words, it doesn't come with a ring gear. You have to use your ring gear bolted on your new locker. And then I'm not going to reuse these. I bought brand new bearings that'll go on the locker, and it gets little shims behind it, behind both of your bearings. So you got to make sure you read the instructions really well on that. And I hadn't made it that far. I'm going to get this tore apart. Then I'm going to bring the whole locker over here, and on the toolbox, I got to clean the toolbox off. I'm going to lay out all the shims, all the bolts, and everything that came with it, and then I'll read the instructions on the thickness of shims it says to keep for your carrier bearing. So, alright, well, let's get this ring gear off. Of course, make sure you always put Loctite back on these. That's why these are so hard to get off, and all this stuff right here is Loctite. Alright, we got our hole drilled and got it threaded and tapped for the air fitting, nipple, whatever you want to call it. Alright, well, as you can see, we got the truck back together. The only thing left to do now is put the differential dope in it and we'll be good to go. I still got to move the air compressor to under the hood and run the lines and wire all of it up. So I guess I'll do a demonstration on how the locker works when I get all that stuff set up. But yeah, I mean, it's actually pretty simple about installing. Hardest part really is just making sure you have the correct shim packs to, you know, set your backlash. But other than that, pretty simple install. And since I have, you know, so much stuff done to the front end, it's pretty simple to take the truck apart. But alright, well, I appreciate it, and thank y'all for watching Miller's TV. Until next time, y'all have a good one.